Elias found solace only in the cold embrace of the bleakwood thicket, the ancient, skeletal trees mirroring the barren landscape of his grief. His remote cottage, once a haven of warmth and laughter, now felt like a tomb, each creak of the floorboards an echo of the silence Seraphina had left behind. Her sudden departure, a carriage accident on the treacherous Old King's Road, had ripped a chasm through his very being. The world had gone mute, its vibrant hues bleached to an agonizing monochrome of sorrow. He missed her fiercely, a raw, etching void that gnawed at his sanity. Days bolt into weeks, weeks into a desolate month. Elias retreated further, shunning the sympathetic whispers of the few villagers who dared to venture near the woods. He spent his hours in the haze of morning, poring over old letters, touching the clothes shed worn, trying to conjure her presence through sheer force of will. And then the visions began. At first, they were faint, like a wisp of mist across his peripheral vision, or a fleeting glimpse of her silhouette by the hearth, a shadow of her hand reaching for a forgotten teacup. He dismissed them as the cruel machinations of a grief-stricken mind, the desperate hallucinations of a man teetering on the edge of madness. But the specter of Seraphina grew bolder, more defined. She would appear in the parlor, her form coalescing from the shadows, her pale eyes fixed upon him. Her skin, once luminous, now bore a sickly pallor, like aged parchment. A faint, almost imperceptible scent of damp earth and something far older, far fouler, clung to her. She never spoke, never moved with the grace he remembered. Instead, she stood, silent and still, a living statue carved from dread. Elias, in a moment of raw desperation, once reached out, his hand trembling. His fingers brushed against her arm, and a cold so profound, so utterly devoid of life, seized him. It was not the chill of a winter's night, but the deathly frost of the grave itself, a cold that seeped into his bones and marrow, whispering of oblivion. He recoiled, gasping, the unnatural cold lingering on his skin for hours. His few remaining friends from the village, those brave enough to check on him, spoke of his gaunt face and hollow eyes, of the perpetual chill in the cottage. They suggested healers, priests, even a stay in the asylum in the next town. Elias merely shook his head, retreating deeper into his solitude, for how could he explain the ghastly visitor, the decaying echo of the woman he loved, that now shared his desolate home? It was amidst the suffocating despair that Elias stumbled upon it. Seraphina had always been drawn to antiquities, to the hidden lore of the past. He was cleaning out her old writing desk, a sprawling mahogany piece she had inherited from her grandmother, when his fingers brushed against a loose panel at the back of a drawer. Behind it, nestled in a hidden compartment, lay a single, leather-bound volume. It was not a book of poetry or travel journals, but a grimoire, its cover emblazoned with arcane symbols he didn't recognize, its pages brittle and yellowed with age. Its very presence seemed to draw the light from the room, radiating an unseen, ancient power. He opened it with trepidation, a shiver tracing its way down his spine. The script was arching, filled with ominous warnings and cryptic verses. He deciphered the passage that seized his breath like an icy hand, an ancient ritual, a dark art known as the sepulchral tether. It detailed a method to bind a soul to the corporeal realm, to prevent a loved one from truly passing, to call them back even from the precipice of death. But the text cautioned, its stark words etched into his mind: the vessel shall return, yes, but not as it was. The true essence, the soul's light, shall be but a flickering ember. What remains is a husk, a reflection animated by the ritual's dark energy, an eternal monument to a love twisted by defiance against the natural order. The horror of comprehension slowly, agonizingly, dawned on Elias. He reread the passage, his eyes darting to the chilling notes scribbled in Seraphina's own delicate hand in the margins. Dates, annotations, desperate pleas for success. He saw it all then. The carriage accident had merely claimed her life. It had been the final, agonizing step in a ritual she had already begun. Seraphina, perhaps sensing her own impending doom, or simply fearing their separation with a love so profound it bordered on obsession, had initiated a sepulchral tether upon herself. She had not died and then returned. She had invoked the binding before death, ensuring that when her final breath escaped, her desperate desire to remain would manifest into this grotesque, decaying echo. She stood before him then, just as she always did, silent in the shadows of the parlor, her lifeless eyes fixed upon his. But now Elias saw her not as a phantom of grief, nor a beloved ghost, but as a living, breathing testament to a love that had warped into an abomination. Her stillness was not serenity, but the inerness of a corpse. Her pallor was not ghostly, but the decay of flesh held by unnatural means. The cold emanating from her was the chill of a perpetual grave, a reality he now shared. Seraphina had come back for him. She had trapped herself, and by extension, him, in this unending nightmare. And there he remains, Elias, a prisoner in his own home, bound by a love that refuses to die, even as it decays. The ghastly Seraphina is a permanent fixture in the cottage, a silent, chilling monument to a love that transcended the veil, only to become a horror. Her lifeless eyes watch him, always. And he, broken and hollowed out, watches her, knowing there is no escape from the eternal, silent dread of her ghastly return.